Hey guys, Urban Combat Survivor here. This video is going to be, I don't want to call it another reality check. I know I've done a couple of videos about that, and I don't want to keep harping on that or overusing that term, but in essence, that's what this is going to be. My main goal with this channel is to try to get people to think maybe a little outside the box, or maybe present thought processes in a way that perhaps you hadn't thought of. Last night I was having a conversation with somebody that I love very much, and she knows that I'm currently building a rabbitry and that I will be breeding rabbits for meat. She's concerned about this, as I guess nobody likes the idea of killing cute little bunnies for food. And I had to assure her that I'd thought of just about any other possibility I can think of, and the only one that met all of the requirements is rabbits. So after going through an exhaustive list of other suggestions, because she really likes the bunnies, she asked if I would be able to simply keep two breeding pairs of rabbits and then only start breeding them for food if things go bad. And in the meantime, they would simply be pets. It never crossed my mind that I would have to explain this, and let me say that she's not at all stupid. She's actually very intelligent. So it's not that I was talking to a dummy. I guess it's just that not everybody is thinking this way. So let me present to you what I presented to her, just in case some of you out there may not have thought of this. If I were to only keep two pairs of breeding rabbits as pets and then only start breeding them, bang, the shit hits the fan and I realize, okay, this has to happen, and I start breeding them. Rabbits give birth in about 30 days after breeding them. That would mean, one, that I would have to just go on faith that the two breeding pairs that I have are both good breeders. Assuming, let's say, they are good breeders and I get 2 litters after breeding in 30 days, and then let's say that those litters actually survive any adversity and start maturing. By the time it gets to the point where I have a full rabbitry ramped up, I've already lost 30 days for breeding, and now it takes about 4 months, maybe 5, before the young are ready to breed, unless you don't care about the quality of your stock. I mean, you can probably breed them younger than that, but I believe you're limiting the lifespan of the rabbit by doing so, and a lot of other things. So we'll say that's probably 5 or 6 months that I'm living off of my food stores completely, where meats are concerned. And since I advocate about a year's worth of food minimum, that would mean that half of that year is taken up just getting my rabbitry up to the numbers necessary to continue breeding, to start having actual ample meat production for the amount of people I'm going to have involved. Now, again, you have to breed this second generation, the second run, and again, you're looking at 30 days before they kindle, and then you're looking at probably 3 months before they're ready to harvest. So that's another 4 months on top of the 6 months. So now you're looking at already 10 months. If everything goes perfectly, no mistakes, no losses, you're looking at 10 months before you can start harvesting a viable amount of meat for your family, or for my family, my situation. At that point, I now only have 2 months worth of food store left. What if something goes wrong in this process? What if I find that one of my breeding pairs doesn't produce because they've only been pets before? So what if I find out that one of them simply can't breed, or has very small litters or something like that? What if something happens and some of my rabbits get sick and I lose some of them? What if some of the initial litters don't survive? Not all babies, not all the young survive. So, you can count on that most rabbits have 8 young, but you can't count on them surviving. So, this video is really an explanation on why I think it's a good idea to start doing this stuff now. Again, I don't know if anything is going to happen, and if it does, I don't know when it will happen. What I do know is that if you put everything off until later, if you don't start living this lifestyle at least rudimentarily now, when it comes time that you need to be living this lifestyle, I think you're going to run into barrier after barrier where you didn't realize this or that. You didn't have the experience at this or that. You thought it was going to work one way and it did not. That's why you have to start doing these things now. That's why I'm starting to do these things now. I look at it like this. Let's say I start producing now for meat, and then nothing ever happens. Basically, it comes out to about $1.50 a pound for the meat that you will harvest off of the type of rabbits that I'm going to get. So if you're looking at $1.50 a pound for home-raised organic meat, oh, where the hell are you going to find that? Last time I saw a pound of organic meat, I think it was something like $12. Everything else you're getting at the stores at this point is so full of antibiotics and chemicals and hormones and all other crap that it's getting to the point that a lot of dietitians are even saying, don't eat it. Don't just stop eating the meat that you're getting at the supermarket. I don't know that I buy into that whole extreme, but I do know there's no fucking place else that I'm going to be able to get organic meat for $1.50 a pound. I know everything that went into those rabbits. I know everything they've eaten. I know the quality of the conditions that they've been kept in. I know these animals weren't kept in their own waste. They weren't crowded into tiny little cages. They have a decent quality of life, decent quality of care, and decent quality of feed. So I'm getting no loss in the long run. Even if nothing happens, what's my loss? So there it is. If you've been thinking that you're going to wait and start ramping things up at the very last minute, I think that by the time you get the indication that it's time to start right now, you better damn sure hope that you haven't missed a single beat. You better make sure that you have every single thing prepared perfectly. I don't think that's possible. So, start doing it now, man. You don't have to go large scale. If you're planning on having a rabbitry as I am, or raising chickens, or whatever it is that you're doing. You don't have to go full scale, but at least start small scale production now, because if you don't, and then there's a problem later that you have no idea how to handle. What if your chickens get sick and you've never dealt with that before? You have nothing provisioned for taking care of that. You just lost half or 3/4 or all of your chickens to something that, had you had foreknowledge, you A, may have been able to prevent it, B, may have been able to successfully treat it, and C, would have at least had a heads up that it's possible. So, again, start now. I know that I kind of concentrate on mental preparation for things. I concentrate on thought processes. I hope that no one is misinterpreting this to mean that I think it is enough to mentally prepare, because it isn't. You need to do the physical and material things that go along with that mental preparation. Because if we don't, if anything does go south, The Great Depression of the United States ran for 11 years. 1 year's worth of food is a great start. But if you're not prepared to grow and raise your own food for however long it takes for things to get better, you may wind up, I don't know if anybody has read about what went on during the Depression. I know I may have mentioned before that white-tailed deer in this country were basically extinct. I mean, there was so few left that today when you hear about these deer diseases that are running through the population across the country, it's because there's no genetic diversity left, because they were hunted to the brink of extinction during the Depression. Well, there were 30 million people in this country in 1929. There are 340 million people in this country today. If they hunted white-tailed deer and beaver and rabbits to the brink of extinction when they had 1/10 of the number that we have now, how long do you think it's going to take for that to happen this time? And if it lasted 10 years last time, why would it be in anybody's head to prepare for anything less than that this time? If it happens, I think the safest assumption is that it will follow the course that it has historically followed. Now, there was a stock market crash in 1920 that was just as bad as 29. The difference there was the government didn't use it as a power grab. Come on, you think these guys in power now aren't going to use it as a power grab? If you think not, I think you haven't been paying attention. So start now. Mentally preparing, yes. Materially preparing. Physically preparing. There's been a little bit of talk, and I've mentioned, and I did a video about the gun prepper threat. Those who are just putting guns and ammo up and they're just going to go take off other people. Yeah, I think they're going to be a threat, but I think the bigger threat, the number one, the ultimate threat, is going to be those who thought they were prepared and sat comfortable and then realized too late that all those last minute plans they thought they were going to be able to pull off, they can't. There's a million reasons why you might not be able to, but what reason is there not to do it now? So, just as Irish would say, just grist for the mill, right? So, hope it made you think, and if your thinking process was going the other way, I hope maybe it helped at least make you consider looking at it differently. Urban Combat Survivor, signing off.